180 degrees, and roll it back 180 degrees. And then turn to one side, the side where your upper hand is. The lower hand should be below, and just turn to the side. So you're rotating 90 degrees to the side. And now rotate your back to center, holding the ball on the right and the left-hand side, and then turn, roll over 90 degrees, and turn to the other side. And back to center again, holding the ball, and keep going, breathing in and out as you stretch and relax. And just keep going at your own pace, rolling the ball over from left to right, using the waist to control the movement of the hands. The ball is about the size of a beach ball. So the upper hand is up near the shoulder and the lower hand is down near the waist. Get a good rotation around the waist. Turning the ball over and rotating around from side to side. All right. And now come back to holding the ball. Now we're going to push to one side by extending one hand out in front, like we're swatting at something, like a bee up front on one side, to the left, let's say. So you're reaching out forward and swatting the bee out the shoulder line. And then turn the other palm around and swat the bee or fly in the back, parallel to the front hand, so that both fingers are facing forward. And now rotate back around forward, holding the ball. And now rotate the hands to the other side, swatting the bee in the back by pushing the elbow straight back, swatting that bee or fly, and pushing out up front parallel to get the other one. And so hands up with the fingers pointing forward, the palms facing out. And you should have the feeling like you're pushing something aside as you rotate from side to side. Turning at the waist, very important. Turning at the waist. Go to the shoulder line, not beyond that. So the backhand reaches out, comes up front, and becomes the front hand, and the front hand becomes the backhand as you turn from one side to the other. Okay, good. And let's come back to holding a ball. And open and close. Good. Okay, bring your hands down to your laps. Raise your hands up like commencement, fingers pointing down, slowly with your arms straight out. Open your palms toward you, pull into your chest, like you're hugging something. Turn the palms facing out, push out against the gentle resistance. Now open your palms up like you're holding a ball and extend all the way back, touching your shoulder blades together. Taking a deep breath and pushing your arms straight out to front. Holding the ball with your arms straight out. Pull in, hugging in, palms push out. Palms open and extend all the way back. And push in, feeling that resistance. And one more time, pull in, push out. Extend the hands and open all the way. Push in, feeling some resistance, exhaling, and slowly turn your hands facing down And bring your hands down on your lap. Okay, I'll just rest for a few minutes here. Do a little short meditation. Okay, so bring your palm, your hands up, and make two fists, and you want to have the heart of your fists up. Now, the heart of the fists are, if you make two fists and you rotate your hands up like you're holding something, right, in your hands, your fingers should be pointed up. So that's called heart up. If you turn your hands 90 degrees, the thumb's now pointing down and the knuckles pointing straight out. And you look down, you'll see the eye of the fist. The eye of the fist is that round hole. It's made by formation of the curling your fingers and then putting your thumb over the forefinger. And that part that looks like a hole, like a donut, is called the eye. Okay, so let's turn them heart up now. Bring your elbows straight back. All right, this is called a ready position. And now we're going to punch out straight with one hand as we rotate from the heart up position all the way around to the heart facing down position and kick out with the other leg. And now bring them slowly back in. So it's punch and kick. Counter lateral, punch and kick. Try to time it so that you punch out and you kick out at the same time. And you bring in your fist back to the heart position, heart up, and your foot back into your chair at the same time. 1, 2. Twist and punch. Stretch out all the way. Stretch your joint. That's the whole idea of this. You want to stretch. Gentle stretch. And just go at your own pace. It's a good practice to time these movements to your natural breathing. So as you as you punch out and kick out at the same time, you're going to breathe in, because that's a stretch. And as you bring the hand and foot in, that's the relaxation. So you exhale. And all the same rules apply with breathing. Qigong. If this was Tai Chi, that breathing pattern would actually be reversed. But that's not something you have to even think about. And that's because Tai Chi has martial aspects to it that require us to make the forces more effective if you breathe out as you deliver a force. Qigong is very different. Qigong is done for health purposes, not for fighting. Good. And see how high you can kick. Okay, good. Closing breath. Very good. All right, let's move down to our feet. I'm going to move back a little bit and turn my screen down so you can see my foot. So I'm taking my heel, put my heel up, touch my toe down, and now swivel around your toe like your toe's a fulcrum. Your ankle's moving back and forth, and it's up. And just keep going. I like to do maybe 16 of these. And now if you put your foot down, you can rock and stretch from side to side. And the other foot, same thing with the toe down, the heel up, rocking back and forth. Good. And now down and rock back and forth, side to side, that is. Okay. And let's do something new. It's called Pai Da. And what you do is you've got two sets of muscles in Tai Chi and Chinese medicine too. The yin and yang muscles. So the yin muscles are in the inside. So if you reach down and you stroke your body, your legs up from the inside and up inside the crotch and up in here, all right, these are all yin muscles, and the yang muscles are on the outside. The outside of the arms, the back, and down the back and the back of the legs. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to massage, starting with the arms. Pai Da. Here we're going to get our blood going here. And this is also good for the internal organs. The inside on the other hand. You're just smacking, going up and down the arm, smacking the inside, and then start on your chest. Beat your chest with your hands, and go down the side, and keep going down the inside of your legs. Reach down, keep going down to the feet. Smack, smack, smack. Come on up to the stomach, the chest. Good. Now, let's start the outside. So start down one arm from the shoulder down to the outside. Smack, 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 smack. And the other side from your shoulder, reach around and smack the outside of your hand, the yang muscles. And then we're going to reach over and smack our backs, crossing our hands over above our shoulders. And then reach around the back, smack your kidneys. And I'm going to just stand up so you can see what I'm doing. Smacking, and I'm going to go down to my buttocks, all the way down the back of my legs to my, I forgot the name of these, the back of my legs all the way down to my ankles, and come back up again. All right, so that should get us all ready for the next exercise, which is something I've never taught to people sitting down, but it occurred to me that this is really cool and can be done sitting down. So to give you a little background, the exercise is called the empty stance. That's the name of the exercise. So in Tai Chi, there are 8 stances. They call them stances. They're kind of like postures. You can think of them as postures, actually. And there are exercises that we do to practice these postures and to develop the correct posture when we use them. And so all of these postures or stances are used in Tai Chi. And I'm going to just briefly show you what they are. So now, of course, these are stances. So, you know, they're done obviously standing up. We're doing a class sitting down here. So this is a little hard for me to explain to the people that are visually impaired, but I'm going to try to do it. So see if you can bear with me. So one stance is called a horse stance, standing parallel with your feet apart, slightly bowed, like you're riding a horse, facing forward. Another stance is called the Tai Chi Stance, where you're standing up, you reach out with your heel and step with your toe up and step forward. That's called a Tai Chi step. So whenever we step forward in Tai Chi, we always step forward with the heel first and then put the foot down. And when we step back, we pull back with the heel, the toe up, and slide the heel back and then step back. Okay, this is Tai Chi step. If we put the foot down and we go all the way forward, reaching forward with the back leg straight and the front knee bent, it's called a bow and arrow stance. Kind of like a bow and arrow, where the bow is the front leg and the string of the bow is the back leg. And if you can imagine an arrow between them, which of course isn't there. So this is your bow and arrow stance. Now notice with all these stances, my torso is upright. So in Tai Chi, one of the main principles is to keep your body upright all the time. And this is true whether we do it sitting or standing, all right? Another one is if I draw back and I bring my leg up and just let my foot hang down and my knee is up, this is called a rooster stance. Like a rooster, that, you know, a rooster stands on one foot, the leg up, that's called a rooster stance. If I put my foot down and I twist, and I'm going to do it from this end so you can see it. I put one foot in front of the other and I twist all the way around so that I'm facing in one direction. My legs are crossed. My back leg is balanced on toe, and I've got most of my weight on my right leg. That is called a lotus stance. This is a high lotus. A low lotus is when you're bent down in this direction. If I were to face you in a horse position and I shift my weight to one side, so one foot is bent and the other is straight, that's called a high tiger or tiger. This is another tiger in the other direction. High tiger, low tiger would be all the way down like that, which is kind of hard to do. Okay, and then there's a mythical creature called a unicorn. You know, a unicorn has a single horn. It's a horse with a single horn. It doesn't really exist. Unicorn is when I'm down with one knee parallel to the floor and the other knee is bent at 90 degrees. And so I'm kind of crouched down, but my body is still completely straight up and down. So I don't know if that's 8. It doesn't matter because we're not really trying to learn 8 of them. But today we're going to do, so now there are exercises that we do to develop good posture, good stances, proper stances. It turns out, it's interesting that all these exercises, some are kind of difficult to learn, others are easier. They all have martial applications, which is kind of interesting. So the one I want to do today is called the empty stance. And again, an empty stance, I don't know if I showed you the empty stance. An empty stance is where you're standing with your weight on one foot and the other leg is out. And your foot, the one that's out, is flat on the floor, but there's no weight on it. And so all the weight is back on that back leg, and that front foot is out. So one way to get into this is start with a Tai Chi step or posture, with the heel down and the toe up, all the weight on the back foot, and then just put the foot down. So I should be able to pick up my foot, see? And that's why they call it an empty stance. So we're going to do this exercise, but we're not using our feet. But if the exercise wouldn't make sense, I'm going to leave the footwork out of it. But the name of the exercise is the empty stance. So that's where I went through the trouble of explaining the 8 stances. And also it's just something that you should be, I think is really good to be aware of. A little bit of Tai Chi history, because they're basic principles. All right, so here's the exercise. Let's go ahead and try it and see how it works, okay? So we start out, make it even more complicated. These are very old, and they derive from Shaolin, which is actually not an internal Chinese martial art. Shaolin is an external art. Shaolin is kind of the mother of all the Chinese martial arts, of which there are about 300 of them. So if you sit, like we did in that exercise where we punched and kicked, with the heart up, your fists at your side, and your elbows pointed back. This is the position that we start with in practicing all of these stances. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to the side. I'm going to open my right hand, and I'm going to bring my right hand all the way up on the right and down, and like an arc, like drawing a circle up to the right and down over my head. Now my palm is facing down, and now I'm going to bring the other palm inside, the fingers, my palm facing me, the fingers pointing up, and slide the hands past each other. So now I've got my left hand, fingers pointing up in front of my face, and my right palm is now down at my waist. All right. So you're just thrusting one hand up and one hand down, and they're passing each other. Good. I'm watching everyone do it. That's very good. So let's try it again. Okay. Ready? Position. Elbows back. Fists at the sides. Eye of the fist, not the eye, but the part of the fist pointing up. Reach out to the right. Open your palm. Make a big circle, come up over your head and down, and now open the other palm up at your waist and strike up inside, straight up, the fingers up and the other palm coming down at the waist. All right, so now one palm has striped up, the fingers up, and the other striped down. And you want to bring the outside arm around and up and to the outside. So when the other palm comes up on the inside, like this. Okay, good. So the movement looks like this and like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my left hand and temple block. So the left hand comes up like this and then turns over to a temple block. So I swing it out and around. So I'm blocking something that's you imagine is going to come down and hit you on the side of the head. So it's palm facing out. All right. So if we were to separate the two movements, the right hand palm opens up, comes up around an arc down in front of our hands to our lap. The palm now on our lap. All right. The other arm comes up inside, palm fingers up, striking up all the way around, turns at the head, opens up into a temple block. All right. And the right hand that comes down at the waist comes around to the side, and we make a little monkey paw with it and strike back. So you got a lot of things going on here. So what we're really doing here is we are coming up and deflecting a punch coming in. We're coming inside that hand, really sneaky, and coming up and striking with the fingers of the left hand. Then we're bringing that left hand up to block a potential strike to the head. At the same time, bringing the other hand back around, the fingers pointing back to a groin strike. So you can see that there's 4 different applications in this one movement. And we haven't even used the foot. When you do it with the feet, you actually kick. And I'm going to show you what that looks like if you were to put all these together with a kick. So I'm standing here, I go into this position, I come up, and now here I go. And then I come down to the empty stance. So I just thought I'd like to drill this a little bit, spend a little bit of time on it. It's going to be a little bit challenging for for people that have difficulty seeing or can't see, but let's go ahead and try it anyway. All right, ready position. Make a loop with the right hand, come up on the inside with the other hand, strike up and down. Bring the upper hand out to block, bring the upper hand down, the lower hand down to block. All right. Bring the upper hand down, palm facing down to the left. Come up with the upper hand inside, block with that lower hand, and defend with a temple block with the other hand. So now we're just going to keep going. I'm going to strike up and down to the side and back, the temple block, come up, block and around, come up, block down, temple block, strike back, bring the lower hand up on the inside, up and down, temple block, strike back, come up and down, temple block, strike back, come up and down, temple block, strike back, and keep going. Okay, good. Like I say, there are 8 of them. This is probably the most difficult one. The reason I chose it is that it's amenable to doing in a chair. So I think maybe we'll do some others later on. So let's get into our Tai Chi now. It's 11:37, so we have plenty of time. So are there any questions so far about that called the empty stance, even though we're not standing? It's called the empty stance exercise, right? And it's basically this driving up, this drilling up as we come down with the other hand. This kind of a thing here. All right. And the other up hand comes up and then goes over to the side. All right. So if there are any questions, we'll move on. So today we're going to learn how to do deflect, parry, punch. And let's start learning it first, then we'll go back and we'll practice the whole set over and over again as many times as we can up to this point, including this point. All right, so we ended up with brush knee. All right, and we got into brush knee by starting on the right side. I'm going to turn this way so it's easier for me to for you to follow. So we did our open and close, and we just rotated the hands to the right, placing the fingers of the left hand on the elbow of the right hand. And the palm of the right hand is very extended over to the side, just like in that exercise we do at the beginning, the Qigong exercise. And so we get into this position, we're wound up, ready to go. And now we strike straight out as we reach out and cross and block across with the other hand, the left hand, and bring the left hand to the waist. All right. So doing that again, we open and close. Rotate the hands over, fingers on the elbow, look in the back at the palm. Turn to the left, or it's actually we're doing it to the front because we're seated. Turn to the front, push straight out. Right hand, block across with the left hand and bring it to the waist. And one more time, finger on elbow, look back at the hand. Turn the palm facing forward of the right hand. Strike out straight and bring the left hand across, blocking over to the waist with the palm facing down. All right. So the movement's like this. Brush knee. Kind of like you're brushing your knee. All right, good. So this is a strike and a block. You want to think of it in that way. All right. Then we played a loop. And that was the next step. We bring the hands around to play the loop position. All right, so we brush knee, and then we pretend we're turning the wheel of a truck. Let's say we grab the wheel, the top, grab the wheel at the bottom. Of course, we don't really grab it. We rotate it around so that the left hand is up at face level and the right hand is down about waist level or belly button level. The hands, one upper hand is facing to the right, lower hand palm is facing left, and they're lined up, so they're vertically aligned, right in front of us. All right, good. Now, here comes step parry, and here comes deflect parry punch. Deflect parry punch. I'm gonna walk you through it and explain it and do it a few times, and then I'm gonna break it down. I turn the palms over, front palm down, right palm up. Now I brush the palms across each other, bringing the left palm back to the waist and the right palm out straight, fingers pointing out. And this is like a throat strike, if you want to look at it that way, right? I turn the palms over now from that position. Front palm facing down, up high, arm straight out. The back palm is now at the hip, the palm up. And I push the palms past each other, left palm out, right palm back, sliding them across each other. Now we've got my left palm, fingers out, facing up, about neck high, and the right palm and arm down at the waist. Now I make a fist with both hands. Just my left hand, which is up, fist, my right hand with this down. I bring the fist of the right hand down and in and across. And then I reach up and strike over with the right fist, striking over the left wrist. All right. So that movement is when I make two fists, see if I can describe it. I simply rotate the forearm around 90 degrees. So now my forearm is parallel to my chest. All right. I just rotate it around in counterclockwise, still out from my chest, so that now the heart of my fist is facing down and the knuckles are pointed to the right. Really what I'm doing here is, let's try it again, is I start out, play the loop. Right hand up, left hand down, palms facing each other. And I turn the right palm up and the left palm down without changing position, the distance between the hands. And now I push the left palm up forward, striking the other palm, pull the left palm down, brushing them across each other, reaching out with the right palm to the throat and bringing the left palm back to the waist. Turn the palms over again and repeat this. Come up with that left palm, slide it past the right palm, bring the right palm back to the waist. Make two fists, rotate the right fist over in a clockwise direction, so now that the arm is parallel, and then punch up and over that fist. So that is called, those movements are called Deflect, parry, and punch. Why deflect? Well, if we start out with the, again, from the play the loot position, and we open up our hands, we turn our hands over. If you just put one hand down, put the top hand down, and now just take your lower hand. So your lower hand is now up at your waist, right? Palm facing up, like you're holding a crystal ball in your lap. If you bring that straight out, right? You can imagine that you would be deflecting if you bring it out a little to the left and then up a little bit to the right, a little bit of a S shape. You might imagine that you're deflecting a punch coming in. Like the simple movement of reaching out and intercepting it. So that punch then goes off and deflects past my shoulder, my right shoulder. So remember, in Tai Chi, we never use force against force. So what I'm doing is using that person's energy to deflect that force over to the side by just simply sliding my arm up inside the punch, letting the punch drift down across that right side of my hand, right forearm, all the way past my shoulder. And I continue that motion up and strike to the neck. So in one motion, I'm deflecting and coming up and striking. Very sneaky. Uses hardly any energy. Uses the other person's energy against them. And then I do it again, just for the practice. Turning the hands over and deflecting up with the left hand. Rotating out, straight up to the side, rotating up. And then continuing on up with the palms open and the fingers out. And this is called a knife, this palm Tai Chi knife. It's kind of like a knife blade. All right. So you can practice just that one movement by just changing your hands and passing them past each other. You see. They're turning one hand over, turning the other hand up. Past each other. Turning the lower hand palm up or palm down, and swooshing them past each other, brushing them past each other, up and down, turning them, brushing them past each other, like you're slapping your hands, okay? Or wiping your hands, turning and pushing, pulling and wiping, turning, pushing, pulling and wiping. Turning, pushing, pulling, and wiping. One hand wiping down to the waist, palm down, the other hand wiping up, palm up to the throat of your opponent, and turning, wiping past each other and striking. And keep going, just to get this rhythm. The movement is very linear, see? It's straight up and down. It's straight out, straight. It's straight out, not to the side, okay? Ludi, so it's like this, see? And then turn like this, see? So it's straight out, straight out. Good. And rotate your hand a little bit more with the fingers pointing straight out at me, like you're holding, making an offering. Yeah, good. Now turn it over. Keep it out. Turn the other hand up. The other hand up. The back hand up. And slide them past each other. Good. Not over to the side. Ludi, straight. Yes. Yes. About the level of your chin. And turning the hands over. Good. And sliding them past each other. And turning the hands over. First turning them over. And then sliding. Turning them over. And then sliding. Straight out like this. Keep it up. Yeah, straight out. Like right at my neck. Here I am. Okay. There you go. Use me as like a target. Turn your hands over, Ludi. And sweep them past each other. Very linear. Good. Turning them over. And sweep them past each other. Very linear. Okay, now take the front hand out. The front hand is straight up at me. Palm up, Ludi, right. Now make two fists without changing position of the hands. And just turn that front hand over. Good. And now just punch over it with the other hand. And bring that the other one in. Yeah. And you want to punch right at me, not over to the side. A lot of people do this, you know, they do this or they do this. Punch right over. Good. All right, very good, everybody. All right, everyone got that? So let's try it again. Parry. It's called, I'm sorry, it's called punch. It's called deflect, parry, punch. Now, what part is the parry? The punch is obvious, right? The parry is, and I'm gonna imagine that you are going to reach out and punch me. So go ahead and do that. I'm gonna parry. That's a parry. You know, does anyone do any fencing? You know, in fencing, you go parry, you know, they reach out and they go like this, pushing the other person's foil aside. It's a parry, right? This is a parry, this is a punch. This is deflecting, deflecting. So we deflect, parry, grabbing a wrist and pushing it aside in this form. Other forms of Tai Chi actually just, you slap across. They slap and punch over. I actually like that because slapping is easier than grabbing. If you're going to grab something, you better not miss. But, you know, it's easy to slap something aside. You know, whack, it's done. Whack, bang, right? But in this particular style, they reach out and they grab the wrist, they pull it over to the side, and they punch over the other person's wrist. So that's why that's done this way. So let's try it again. We start out, play the loop. All right. To set this up, we're going to turn the hands over to get ready to deflect. Turn the front hand over, facing down, the lower hand facing up, without changing the distance between them. Fingers are pointing out straight. And now we just slide the hands past each other. Reaching out with one hand to strike to the neck, the other hand comes back, palm down to the side. Turn the palms over without doing anything, but turn them over. And push them past each other, sliding them past each other. Patty cake, patty cake. Make two fists without doing anything, just make the fist. Rotate the front fist over 90 degrees in front of you, like this, and reach out in front and punch over. Good. All right. Very nice. So let's start at the beginning. And we're going to go through deflect, parry, punch. Now we're getting close to the end of the set. So congratulations. If you've gotten this far, the rest of the moves are pretty easy. So let's sit up straight and relax. Get into that Tai Chi position, raising the crown. We want to relax, drop the shoulders. Don't do this. Drop your shoulders. Roll your shoulders over a little. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to roll your shoulders forward. All right, relax, arms down. Tuck your chin in. Bring the hands up. Arms straight out, fingers pointing down. When we're at parallel to the arms are out parallel, straight to the shoulder line, we bring the hands in and down slightly to the waist, like we're holding a ball. And now let's thrust the ball out. All the way out. And now bring your ball into your chest. And now carefully open, breathing in and close. Push out and in like you're letting the ball expand and compressing. Turning the palms out, we're going into single whip. We push slightly out and extend like we're opening up a set of curtains. And we should have our hands now in a swallow formation. The hands are about head high. We're about a foot past each side of the shoulder. Bring the right hand down in an arc to the left, over lining up to the left shoulder line, underneath the left elbow. We switch the palms up and down. And now we turn at the waist, turning the hands together over to the other side. And we switch the palms up and down, maintaining the verticality of the hands, and move them together around the waist to the left. And one more time, switch up and down on the left-hand side and turn to the right. And bring the lower hand up in an arc, palm facing up, like we're scooping something up from the bottom, and rotate back around the waist to the front, holding the ball, and open and close, breathing in and out. Okay. Brush knee, rotate the hands. Right hand across, left hand up. Get your fingers of your left finger touching the elbow, right elbow, looking at the right palm. And now facing forward, push out with the right hand, extending it straight out, and sweep across and block with the left hand across near the knee, across near the knee to the waist. Play the lute, rotate the hands around, left hand up, over the right hand down, playing the lute. And now deflect, parry, punch. Turn both palms over, facing each other. And now sweep the hands past each other, touching each other as they slide across. One hand extending out to the throat, the other hand down to the waist. And then deflect again by turning the palms over, brushing them past each other, one hand out, the other hand back to the waist. And now you make two fists, turn the front fist over, bring it in, and punch over it with the right fist. Okay, good. Now I'm going to turn around and do it facing the other way. It might be easier for you to see me doing it this way. Wish I had a stool. I don't have a stool. All right. Ready. Come up. Come in. Come down. Push out. Come in. Open and close. Single whip, turning the palms out, opening into our single whip, extending the hands. Now for cloud hands, bringing the right hand down under the left elbow, switching them up and down, turning both hands across the waist to the right, switching up and down, turning both hands to the left, cloud hands left, switch the hands up and down, and then finally cloud hands right over to the right. And we're on the right side. I'm going to open the lower palm, bring it up and swing it over and turn facing forward so that the palms are facing each other, and I open and close, holding the ball. Single whip, rotate the right fingers down, the left fingers down to the right elbow. Bring the right palm facing out to the side so you can look at it. And now look forward, push forward with the right hand, sweep across, blocking with the left hand to the waist. Brush knee. Bring the left hand up and right hand down, turning the wheel to play the loop. Now here we go, deflect, parry, punch. Turn the upper palm down, the lower palm up. Slide the hands past each other, brushing them past each other. Now the right hand is out, the fingers pointing straight out toward the opponent's neck. My right palm is down near my waist. Turn the palms over and slide them past each other. Now bringing the right palm face down to the waist, right waist, left palm face, fingers pointing out to the opponent's neck. Make a fist with both hands. Rotate the right fist to the right over and punch over that fist with the right punch with the right hand. Sometimes it's easier for me to do it. It's a little bit confusing if I do it facing you. So if I turn away from you, it's easier. Unfortunately, we don't have mirrors. If we had mirrors, it would make it really easy because you could check everything out in the mirror in front of me. All right, well, let's do a final, one final Qigong. We're going to do a Yigan Jin exercise, tendon muscle exchange exercise. We're going to sit and we're going to put palms facing down. You're going to make your elbows kind of bowed so that the palms are about waist high, and bring your palms back, palms facing down. So you're bringing your elbows back. Your arms are bent slightly. Your palms are down at about waist level. And we're going to take a deep breath in into our stomach, as if we're breathing into our stomach, and we're going to push down as hard as we can. And we're going to hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax. And one more. Push down, hold it. And exhale completely. And relax. Ready. Inhale, push. Exhale, relax. And one last time, inhale, push. Exhale, relax. And now just relax completely. Put your hands down at your side and open your hands, palms facing out. All right, and bring your palms up, breathing in. Arms are horizontal, straight out, your palms up, like you're making two offerings. And now just bring the arms back down to the side and breathe out. Breathe naturally. Bring them up. Relax. Straight up, horizontal. Arms extended, palms facing up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. And last one. Inhale, up. And exhale, down. Okay, good. Last closing breath. Down. And that ends our session today. Okay, well, if there